What is up, everybody? I hope you are having a fantastic evening. Normally, Tuesdays are reserved for So Real Sunil to be on the building, but he's unable to make it. He has a doctor's appointment that's running a bit long. He's on the West Coast, so I get it. So it's going to be me going solo dolo tonight, and that's all right. However, I haven't heard from y'all in a while. So at the same time, I'm going to put the chat link in the chat itself here for you guys. So let me copy this. If you guys want to call in, you definitely can. I know it's very last minute. So if not, that's okay. I've got plenty of topics that I can go through here. But the link is in there in case you guys want to call in. I would love to hear from you. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit this intro, and then we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. And as I said, no Sunil tonight, which means it is your night to call in. Open mic night. We haven't done one of these in a while. Haven't heard from you in a while, so I have dropped the link in the description. I'll continue to do so periodically throughout the show. If not, though, I have plenty of things to talk about. So we can do it that way, or you guys can call in. I'll drop it one more time in case you guys want to get backstage. And then we'll get to talking about the there we go. All right, we're getting some people. Geez, that was a little quick. I like it. What, Meg? Oh, okay. Hold on. I've never had Megan call into the show. This is great. I want to talk to her in a second. Legendary, we're gonna get to you. I want to tee up some topics, though. I do want to tee up some topics. 49er fans, Bosa's out. We know that. Should the 49ers spend assets to go and get a replacement for Bosa, or should they let this thing ride? I'm not saying don't bring in anybody. They just signed a player to the practice squad, plays edge. But should they go spend, let's say, I don't know, a 4th-round pick on Kayvon Thibodeau, something like that? Would you be open to that? Do you think they should just let it ride? I'm under the impression that they should let it ride. I don't think they should spend any future assets on anybody. I don't think this is a Super Bowl team with Bosa. I certainly don't think a replacement of Bosa is going to get the job done. But I think a lot of 49er fans feel different. A lot of 49er fans are optimistic, 3-0. And you look at it and say, well, if the pass rush continues, you add Ayuk and Robinson and Kittle, and you get some of these guys healthy, maybe the 49ers can make a run. That's always a possibility. So that's something we can talk about for sure. How confident are you that the 49ers can win the West at 3-0 right now? Is it too early? If not, who's your favorite? So those are some things that are on my mind. But ultimately, it's open mic night, and open mic night means you talk about whatever the hell you want. So legendary answers. We're going to go to you first, brother. How you doing, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's on your mind?
Hey man, so I was watching you and Coach yesterday, right? Like about
Mm-hmm.
the D line and this season, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not really like an optimistic person, but I honestly think that there is a chance that we can actually go pretty far in the postseason. I mean, right now we're playing with house money, right? And I honestly think that
Sure.
this whole Bosa injury could be a blessing in disguise. Right? Like because one, we have the right orchestrator in the building right now, which is Robert Solid. Right? And we have a lot of pieces that's in place right now. And these young guns that we have on the line, man, like they're forced to grow up quickly. And now that we have Bosa, that's ultimately going to be help on as a D line coach. That's just even better, man. So I mean, again, we're playing with house money. I think that our secondary is doing pretty good. Had a little worries about Renardo Green, but I think he's still coming along. And especially like this first top half of the season that we're playing with, and we're playing with house money, man. So I think that when we go down the stretch and we get all the guys back, especially on the offense, I think we're going to be a juggernaut.
Okay. I mean, I definitely feel optimistic about it for sure. The offense certainly. So let me ask you this then. With Bosa out, do you feel like the offense is going to have to carry this team down the stretch once everybody gets healthy? Is that your expectation, or do you feel like the defense and offense can kind of play in tandem here? What are your thoughts?
No, I think that everything is going to be the same. I think that the defense is going to get a lot better, right? And as the offense gets healthier, then we could sustain longer drives, which can rest up the defense. And that's because that's what's going on right now. If you look at the first three games, it's been all defense that's been carrying us, and especially during our home opener, and it was hot. Our defense was gassed. Imagine if we were playing in indoors and we had a few of those healthy players on offense and those drives has sustained. We haven't even seen our full potential defense yet because our offense is so hurt, right? Like, so our defense is going to look a lot better once we get a lot of our veterans back on offense, right? Like, so, I mean, we're hurt at the quarterback position. Like, even CMC, he's like kind of half of CMC right now, and you got B Rob that's not fully acclimated yet, but you're seeing like flashes of him though, So I wish Danny would use him a lot more on those swing routes, and CMC. Honestly, every time I see him going between the tackles, I just cringe like, ooh, why aren't you swinging him out? Right? It just seemed like that he's more prone to getting injured if you're running him in between the tackles.
He's taking some big shots too, man. I mean, the running backs that dominate in this league, they're shifty, they're quick a lot of the times. Derrick Henry and Adrian Peterson, those guys. But even those guys wouldn't take hits head on the way. CMC's like getting blasted every single game. It's like, oh man, he doesn't seem to have that extra twitch and burst to protect himself the way that he used to. Something's missing, and he's 29 years old. He's had a lot of lower leg injuries. You have to wonder how much of it that he's lost. He's obviously still very effective. He certainly can roll with the volume. He's phenomenal as a receiver. There's no doubt about that. But as a runner, do the 49ers know something maybe that we don't? Is it possible that he can't get to the outside and beat those guys the way that he used to? And so this is kind of how they have to use him. I think that might be a possibility.
Mm, I mean, I don't know, but then you seen flashes of it when during that last drive when Mac had threw it to him like out of the backfield when he got in the open space, that looked like old CMC, right? It was like, wait, whoa, wait, I didn't know he still had that. It's like, so I think honestly that I think Shanny should go back to the Mike McDaniel plays where he was using Debo. I think that B Rob can play that Debo-esque role if we can implement that, right? I would love to see him on the jet sweep and see how he does on the jet sweep, right? I think that he can play more of a Debo role, like how we did with CMC and Debo together. I think he can play that role, and he has a little bit of burst on him, So I mean, I expect that within the next few weeks of him implementing that, and maybe Mike McDaniel's will be in a Niners shirt, in a few weeks anyway. So I don't know, man. Like, but I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic about this team, man. Like, there's a lot of Niner fans that hit the panic button when Nick went down. I'm saying, wait a minute, this is honestly, like I said, it's a blessing in disguise. I love Nick Bosa. I met him before. I met his family and everything at Levi. He's great. I love him. He's one of my favorite Niners. But ultimately, if you have, since he's the only veteran on the D line, these guys depend on him a lot. So we needed a stretch to see what they actually have. Let's see what Bryce Huff is really about. Let's see what Michael Williams is all about, right? And get some of these guys going and let them let them know, man, like Bosa's not coming back this season. So it's either make or break for that D line right now. Either way, we have Fred. We have D Winters, who's playing absolutely out of his mind right now. And, that secondary and the linebacker crew, man, they can take care of whatever, and clean up whatever the D line can't.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, legendary answers. Appreciate you for calling in, man. Way to kick us off. Go Niners. We'll talk
Go Niners.
next time I do this call in show, bro.
Yes, sir. Just all right. Good
Have
brother.
a good one. Later.
You too.
All right, man. All right. We're going behind enemy lines early on this show. We got Megan calling in. Megan is a huge, huge contributor to Brandon's channel. Huge contributor to the NFC West Roundtable, which, by the way, if you don't check out the Roundtable, it's live every single Tuesday right after the show with Sunil and I, or in this scenario after the show with myself and everybody who's calling in. And as soon as this show's over, it's going to automatically redirect you over there. So if you're in the chat, it'll kick you over there. Make sure you like and subscribe. But Megan is always hooking us up over there. Big supporter. So very happy to hear from her. I'm curious to see what she has to say. She's calling from down under. Aussie fan. All right, here we go. Let's bring in Megan. What's up, Megan?
Hello, how are you, Jesse? Great to finally
Oh, that
talk to
accent
you.
is crazy. I love it.
I look, I'm still really salty after week 1. I'm just going to say that straight to you. I got woken up at 5 a.m. yesterday with the Bosa news. I think it was around 5 a.m. Someone in the chat said a mid player for Bosa. You said 4th round pick. I think 5th or 6th, maybe, if you're lucky. What's the feeling? I know I was talking to Brandon and he, because I'm pantsing him in fantasy. What's the feeling? I mean, I know what I'm feeling as a Seahawks fan, hearing that Bosa's going down CMC, watching him like a hawk. Where do you think you are re the division?
Oh gosh, I still think that the opportunity to finish second in the division is there, which is where I had us at the beginning of the season, Megan. I had the Rams winning the division, and I still do. Rams had a tough game against the Eagles for sure. They certainly shouldn't have blown that one. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with Jake after this show for sure. We're poking fun at Jake. Yeah, Jake's gonna get his, but ultimately, I do think the Rams are the best team in the division. The Cardinals, I am not impressed with at all. They're extremely disappointing. They are anemic on offense. There's nothing about them that really worries me anymore. And Seattle's still a team that I respect.
You guys are on Thursday with the short turnaround.
And I'm picking Seattle in that one. Spoiler alert. So NFC West Roundtable peeps. Yeah. So I think Seattle is still there. This Bosa injury is tough. It really is. And, you know, I think that ultimately Bosa will still be on this team going forward. I think that he is going to get his cap restructured next year because he's making big money. They'll rework that contract and, you know, hopefully he can come back. But this is his 3rd ACL injury. This is the 3rd time he's torn his ACL.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, I've done knee injuries, not ACLs, thank God. If, and maybe this is the Seahawk fan in me dreaming, if he was to be traded, and you're saying no, but if he was, what would be the best case scenario that you would say, oh, that's a great deal for him, if you know what I mean?
Gosh, well, it'd have to be next offseason. God, and this is why I don't think it's possible. I mean, you'd have to still be able to get a first for him. I mean, he's still that talented of a player, assuming he can come back. But who's going to want to take that chance? I mean, that's a high risk. He makes a lot of money. I don't see a team being willing to do that coming off of an ACL, especially being that he's torn that one twice. So I just don't see it. I think if they were to realistically trade him, what they could expect, I think they could probably get a 2nd round pick for him. But that's just not enough. I mean, this is a guy that if they traded him prior to this injury, 2 1st round picks is what you're going to get for him minimum. So you just can't do it. You can't.
And finally, because I do have to get over to the round table, what's your Brock Purdy? I'm sorry, I feel sick saying that name. Where do you see him in the next couple of seasons? Yeah, okay. As I said, still salty about week 1, but I'll keep it. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Is
that a Seahawks?
Yeah. So where do you think he is compared to Sam Darnold, who I'm sorry, not sorry, I love from USC? I'm gonna say it. So there, but you know, overall in the division, or even beyond the division, if you are lucky enough to make postseason, where do you think Brock's going to go? As I said,
Yeah,
I'm keeping it polite.
Yeah, I know it's fair. And listen, as a Seahawks fan, you know, you've been on the other side of this with Russell Wilson owning the 49ers. And I feel like Brock Purdy's kind of doing that to your Seahawks. He's not quite what Russell Wilson was in his prime. I'm not trying to say that, but there are some similarities where he just frustrates the heck out of you as an opposing fan because you feel like you got him bottled up and all of a sudden he comes out the back end and he makes a crazy pass or a crazy play. It always seems to happen against the Seahawks, which I absolutely love, of course. Brock Purdy's a good player. I think he's a top 12 to 15 quarterback week in and week out. I think when he's at his best, he can sneak into the back half of the top 10. I do think he's the second best quarterback in this division. Kyler Murray has shown me nothing still. I can't. Talent is one thing, but you can't trust that guy. And Sam Darnold, he has flashes, but there's something missing. To me, there's still something missing.
Excuse you? What did he do against the Saints? And don't give me the BS. It's just the Saints.
I got it, but remember week 1, I said I didn't trust him, and I thought Bosa would get the game-winning strip sack on him, and that's exactly what happened. I can't trust it. I can't. And Brock Purdy, to me, here's the difference. I think ceiling-wise, there's a similarity between Darnold and Purdy. I do. But I know that Brock's floor is much higher than Sam's floor because I've seen Sam's floor and it's disastrous. And Brock's floor is much higher, you know? And so for me, that's why I would go with Brock. But you know, I think he's elite by any means? No, but I do think he's beyond serviceable. Like I said, top 12-ish, top 15-ish, and you can win a lot of games with that. And I think the 49ers certainly can build around Brock Purdy and make them competitors again, especially with that contract.
I just like Mac a little more than Brock.
It scares you a little less, I'm sure. Yeah.
All right, Jesse, I'll see you over on the round table. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, Megan. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. All right, Megan, the Seahawks fan, calling from Australia. Absolutely incredible. First time talking to her. I believe she might have called in one other time, but I think that might be my first time talking to her. But I'm always talking to her in the chat. Much love. I really appreciate you, Megan. Thank you so much. All right, let's get to Alan. I have dropped the link in there for those of you that want to call in. Now, I'm not here for a long time. All right. I do have a hard out at 9 o'clock because we are going to the round table. I'll drop the link one more time. I'm going to go to Alan. Then we'll hear a word from our sponsor. And then I'll take more callers if they are backstage. If not, I'll get off some of my takes. So let's see what Alan is talking about. What's up, Alan?
Hey, Jesse, how you doing? Is it a little loud for you?
No, it's perfect, man. I appreciate it. I can hear you fine.
Perfect. So I had a funny situation after work last night where somebody said, what is the worst 0-3 team and who's the best 0-3 team, right?
Ooh.
And everybody kept saying, well, the Colts and who else was the other? And there were some of them that said us, right? But knowing Niner fans had protected our culture, but I said, you know what, you guys, keep it a buck. I think out of all the 3-0 teams, we're not as stacked as the rest of them, to be honest. And I feel like you can agree on that, Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, with some of the injuries, I think if the 49ers are fully healthy, minus Bosa, obviously, we know he's got no chance of coming back. I would probably lean the Colts, but I can see why people would say the 49ers are the worst 3-0 team.
Can I argue with with that, though? Because I had a discussion with somebody.
Yeah.
I had a discussion with somebody yesterday about it, and they're like, yeah, well, our offense is about to get healthy. I think we can carry the load. I was like, well, receivers and tight ends can carry you so far, but what's going to kill us at the end, Jesse, and you can agree, is our offensive line. Because there's already 2 quarterbacks that's already got injured behind that O-line. That's with Trent Williams in there. That's with Pooney in there. That's with McKivitz and all of them in there. But that's the only thing that scares me going forward, because who knows, throughout the year, maybe we have to go back and forth with quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I could see why you would say the 49ers, but let's go through them real quick. The Bills are certainly not the worst. The Chargers are not the worst. To me, you got to go with quarterback play, quarterback and head coaches, and the Bills and the Chargers are great there. The Colts, Shane Steichen, I think, is a good play caller, but there's something to be desired there as a head coach, or at least until this year. And Danny Dimes is like, okay, he's playing great, but how long can you sustain that? The Eagles just won a Super Bowl, so they're not the team. And I believe in the Bucks. I
The
think
Bucks.
Baker Mayfield's an
I'm
absolute
the
dog.
same. I'm the same way, man. But I feel like
Right.
Baker is that dog. He has that dog mentality. I love Baker.
Yeah.
But
So
my
it's
only
either the Colts or the 49ers. Like, those are the options.
well, and here's another thing you got to think about, Jesse. We've been struggling running the ball. And do you see us improving our run game? Or because like as for the Colts got an elite run game, as you've seen,
They do.
you know, and that's what's helping Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones don't have to do Superman stuff compared, you know, who's known in our in the NFL to have a backup quarterback throw 40 times in 2 games.
You're right. And I do think that the running game is going to improve just by proxy of other guys getting healthy. You know, once with the Kittle's back and Ayuk, and then that's going to open things up. They're going to have to use the passing game to open up the run game for the first time in maybe Shanahan's time here. But I think eventually that can happen because you're going to have to go 2 high safeties and maybe do 7 in the box, and hopefully that helps the 49ers. But I do believe that CMC's lost some of his explosiveness. I do think that the offensive line is not very good, and I think it's going to be a struggle a little bit to run the ball consistently all year, but I do think it can improve, yes.
Yeah, I agree. And then another thing I wanted to ask you, Jesse, in your honest opinion, do you think we should trade for a big name pass rusher? Because my honest opinion, I don't think we should. We should just roll it out and see what we got with our group of guys. And because like you said in the beginning of the year, we don't know what this year is capable of, right? Our goal is make the playoffs, and I'll be happy. But you got people saying, "Well, we have a chance to make a Super Bowl run. We just got to get another pass rusher opposite of Huff." I don't think that's what's going to make a difference for us until we address the O-line.
I agree with you completely. I think really the goal of this season was, yeah, of course, make the playoffs is great, but I think learning how to win close games is one. They're figuring that out. I think saving a bunch of cap space and rolling it over and clearing the cap was another one. And number 3 was developing these young players. All of those things can still happen without Nick Bosa on this team. And one of those things is a non-factor anymore as far as rolling money over as much as you can for future years if you go and spend big on another big time pass rusher. So to me, I don't think that makes any sense to do. I just wouldn't do it. I think that you're not going to win a Super Bowl and you're hurting your future. So why would you do that? That doesn't make sense to me.
I agree. And that's just like another thing. I was like, well, we just one away. We're not one away. I feel like we ain't going to win a Super Bowl until Powell opens his eyes and that he needs offensive line to succeed with his offense. Because his offense, you guys are right. His offense is elite. Especially with a mediocre O-line besides Trent and stuff. But like, that's the only thing that irritates me. Even Coach addresses it, you address it, Jesse addresses it. It's one of those needs we need, but just never address.
For sure. And the problem is that they're waiting so long that it's going to be too late. I mean, nobody's talking about this, but it has to be mentioned. And maybe it's because of he's a little banged up and we know that. But also he did regress as the season went along last year. And I chalked it up to being, hitting that pro wall, that rookie wall where it's like you're not used to playing this many games. Dominic Pooney's not playing good football right now. And as of now, if Trent Williams retires at the end of this season, which O-lineman is a guy that you can trust going forward? Like, honestly.
Well, Jesse, with the whole Pooney thing, I think with him, his issue is I don't think he's fully healthy. And I know
that's a possibility. It is a possibility.
I know everybody's not healthy, especially these first couple of weeks. Even Trent's not healthy. But I feel like with him, I give him a little more leeway because I feel like he's one of those players that had to come back because he had the Kyle doesn't have a backup plan for him. Especially look at our left guard situation. He didn't have a plan for that either. We say, we'd be fine.
No, I mean, I agree with you, Alan. But the problem is that, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm certainly not trying to write him off here. But what I'm saying is right now, there is no guaranteed good offensive lineman on this team once Trent Williams retires. We hope that it's Pooney. But even if it's just Pooney, you still have 4 of the 5 that you're looking to replace. And if it's not Pooney, then it's potentially 5 of the 5. And that's a disaster going into next year if Trent Williams calls it quits. And every year you're playing this game with him. So it is something that we have to consider. And because they've continued to wait so long, they could be looking at a revamped whole offensive line next year, and that's not ideal. It's just not.
Yeah, and I agree. And I was going to ask you, I tried to ask you and Coach yesterday, where do you see, knowing Kyle, do you see us picking up free agent offensive linemen next year in the free agency? Or do you see us addressing it just like how we did our defensive line and addressing it through the draft?
I think the smart play is to address it through the draft. I really do. But if Trent retires, they're going to spend some money on a big name offensive line free agent. They're going to have to. They're going to have to bring in somebody that they can count on for sure. And I don't know that it'll be at the tackle position necessarily. It might be at guard or center, but they're going to have to spend some money and bring that guy in, and then go out and address it through the draft. They're going to have to do both, in my opinion.
I agree, man. I'm excited, like you said, like you guys said at the beginning of the year with these rookies, and each seems like every week they're improving, and I'm loving it. But I appreciate your time, Jesse. Have a God bless day, man.
Alan. You too, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, there's Alan calling in. Dave, we're going to go to you next. But first, we do have to hear from our sponsor, Sleeper. Get a 100% deposit match of up to $100 when you use promo code LSS. You can play daily fantasy, weekly fantasy, yearly fantasy. I've got my Dynasty League through Sleeper. You also can have some skin in the game with, if you have a little skills, then you can do a little more or less, which is what we're going to do here tonight. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure you go check them out. They've been gracious enough to sponsor this show all year long. Really appreciate the folks over at Sleeper. But the other thing that I like about Sleeper is that they every single week are going to give you a free pick. And this week it is Carson Wentz. We're going to get that one passing yard. That's what we need. I love that the Buffalo Bills are playing the New Orleans Saints. That's right. Here we go. We're going to go more on the anytime touchdown for them. Kyler Murray, I don't trust anything that he's about to do. What do you guys think, chat? I'm going to have you help me with this because normally I have somebody else help me. Should we fade Marvin Harrison 46.5 receiving yards? More or less 46.5 receiving yards? We just saw him up close. More or less on Marvin Harrison? That is the question. I am going to go... I'm going to go with Kyron Williams to find the end zone. He usually does. And then I'm also going to go with Saquon Barkley to find the end zone. Should we fade Marvin Harrison? More or less? Less. More. More? I know. Okay. All right, you guys are going more. I trust you on this one. We're going to get 10 times our money. We're dropping 20 on this, man. We're trying to win some good money here. Let's see what we can get. Should be 210. Are we going to flex it? No, we're not playing safe. We like to live life dangerously. Oh, okay. That's fair. They're not going to let me pay more than $10 on a parlay with Carson Wentz because it's a freebie. That's fine. We'll still take our $100. $104. We're not going to flex it. We're going to let this one ride here. Come on. Submit for me. Come on, Sleeper. Don't let me down now. I'm trying to win some money here. There we go. We're in. We're entered. And listen, you can tail me. You can fade me. Either way, use promo code LSS for your 100% deposit match. And listen, if you feel like you are regretting your picks, then you can hit that free cancellation. We're not going to do that, though. We always let it ride here on Last Second Sports. My guy Dave calling in. Tampa Dave. I had the pleasure, before I let Dave on, I had the pleasure of meeting Dave in person. He moved to Tampa a few weeks ago. We went out to lunch, my favorite place out here. If you're ever in Tampa, always hit it up. Tampa Bay Brewing Company. They've got fantastic beers. Dave or I don't really drink, so that wasn't a thing, but they have fantastic beers on tap, amazing food, and it's very reasonably priced. The portions are great. The ambiance is great. I tried to pay. Dave wouldn't let me, but I owe him lunch. I do owe him lunch, so next time around, I will be paying for Dave. Either way, my guy Dave calling in. What's up, Dave?
What's up, Jesse?
How you doing, brother?
Oh, living the dream out here in Florida. All
Hell
inspired by this great man, just in case you guys don't know how awesome he really is. Florida is awesome. That's all I'm going to
Tampa's
say,
beautiful,
really.
isn't it? It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And you don't owe me lunch because I've already lost a bet. And that's why I'm not on Sleeper, because I'm not throwing money away like that, because I'm not good at this, obviously.
Fair enough, man. Hey, know your blind spots, all right? Know your blind spots.
Yep, exactly. Know your weak points. But anyway, I just want to say that I really, really enjoy seeing a ball being thrown deep down the fucking field on, pardon my language, on for the Niners.
Yeah.
43 yards isn't incredible, but I was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And hit him in the helmet. Like,
you know what's crazy? Okay, so Dave, when I saw this play live, I had originally tweeted, "Wow, what a catch!" And then I saw the replay and I deleted the tweet because it hit. You're right. He turned and it hit him right in the right in the front of the face, man. Like it couldn't have been placed any better. I mean, maybe slightly better, but it was placed very well. I thought initially he caught it like on his shoulder pad. Like I thought it hit him here, and he caught it like this, reaching back. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what a catch!"
What a savage
And then
catch.
I saw it. And it was still a good catch. Don't get me wrong. That's one of the is one of the harder catches when you're doing this. But either way, it hit him square in the face mask and he brought it in. It was a good throw and a good catch. It just wasn't like the hell of a catch that I thought it was, you know?
No, I mean, you know my feelings on Brick. He's a good quarterback. He's a good processor, but I just don't think he has a very good arm. Mm-hmm. And being able to see somebody sling it down the field is pretty awesome. I said before, though, if we get Mac 2 years for $7 million, trade Brock back when he actually had some value, and keep Mac. But a lot of people didn't like that.
Oh, well, of course, nobody's gonna like that. I mean, come on, the people aren't gonna like that. They think, you know what I mean. Brock's the guy. Brock's their guy. So it is what it is.
Yeah, Harris agrees with me. It's Brick.
So anyways, brother, you find any gators yet out in Florida? What's up, man?
No,
nothing
that I found a little bitty baby one in a pond over here that's, I don't know, he's probably like 16 inches long, and I tried feeding him Pop-Tarts and he doesn't like them. That's all I had. It was like, fuck it.
Oh my God. Listen, man, you come to my neighborhood, you'll find some gators. We got there's every once in a while we'll get a good 6-7 footer in here. So, you come over here, we go for a walk, brother. You'll definitely see one here. I promise.
All right. Soon we'll do that.
All right, brother. Hey, thanks for contributing as always. Thanks for calling in, and we'll do lunch soon, brother.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Later. All right. There's the infamous Dave Barclay calling in, man. He's moved to Florida. He loves it here, loves it in Tampa, but he needs to see a gator for sure. He has yet to see a big one. Rico says, Uncle Rico, I love this. Need to get B. Robinson more involved. Gosh. Okay. This is like the worst because we saw it with Jordan Mason being completely ice, and it's understandable why Jordan Mason would want to go somewhere else. And look at him flourishing with the Minnesota Vikings. He's playing phenomenal football. He played phenomenal football for the 49ers last year. He's doing it again this year. And he's just a good football player. And the fact that he did what he did, and then when CMC came back, he was just faded out of the offense, makes no sense to me. And they're doing the same with Brian Robinson. Why spend any assets and trade for Brian Robinson if you're not going to play him but for one carry a game? This makes no sense. CMC's on pace for 436 touches. That's 33 more than he's ever had at any point in his career. And that year came in year three, when he was young. He's 29 years old, coming off of multiple injuries, 436 touches. It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Brian Robinson's good enough to get touches. Certainly he's not Jordan Mason. We get that. But you traded for him. You drafted another running back. You drafted a running back last year in Garendo. Why can none of these guys get on the field? It makes no sense to me. And CMC, for the first time in his career, is actually calling for substitutions. These guys come in for a snap. They don't even get a sniff. And that's that. It just, when these guys are coming in, if you're the opposing team, they're not getting the ball. So why even worry about them? There's no point. And when CMC's in the game, he's definitely getting the ball. So It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, he does need to get more touches. CMC certainly cannot run at a pace of 436 touches. And even if somehow he makes it through the whole season, he's not going to be the same in the playoffs. Like, save him for the playoffs. You should make the playoffs. 436 touches is asinine. Samir says, need more faithfuls tapping into the roundtable. Rams are running a little wild over there. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, NFC West Roundtable, that's going to be live right after this show. I love it, man. We have such a blast. The chat is always jumping. As soon as this show's over, if you stay in the chat, it's going to redirect you to that show automatically. So just stay here, and then you'll catch that show live. It's so much fun. And for the Rams and 49ers game, we're doing an event. So if you're going to that game, or you want to go to that game and you don't have tickets, tune in to the NFC West Roundtable. We're going to tell you how you can get tickets to that game for $300. You can sit with all of us guys on the panel. You are going to get a free lunch basically the day of the game. We're going to do a live pod from this restaurant. You'll be there for it. You'll tailgate with us. You're basically going to kick it with us all day long and get into the game and sit with us for $300. You really can't beat that price. And it's just going to be a good time. So Thursday Night Football, if that's something that interests you, either go to the NFC West Roundtable as soon as this is over, watch that. We're going to tell you how you get your tickets, or you can email me at contact Jesse, JESSIELSS @gmail.com, and I can send you a link to get tickets. If you're going to be there, that's the way to go. We're going to have an absolute blast, but we do need more representation of the 49ers over there for sure. Samir is absolutely right. And listen, Brandon was wearing a hat. Because they lost, and he had to wear that stupid sourdough Sam with the legs hanging down, and it had the arms, and it was phenomenal. It was so good, and he wore it about as well as you could wear it, for sure. All right, one more thing that I wanted to get to here is should we be encouraged or discouraged with the Bosa injury? And obviously, we know that Bosa being injured is going to discourage us a little bit. However, the 49ers are getting a lot of people back. I believe that Brock Purdy's going to play this week. I think that Jennings is going to play this week. Demarcus Robinson will be back at wide receiver. And then Ayuk and Malik Mustafa should be back for week 6 against Tampa. So just a couple weeks away. That's a lot. And Kittle as well. I forgot about Kittle. Kittle should be back by then as well. So they're getting a lot of players back. Now, obviously, other injuries can happen, but what we know now is they're getting an influx of talent back, mostly on the offensive side. Bosa being out is going to hurt them for sure. But I think that all of those guys coming back soon within the next couple of weeks should give the 49er fans more reason for optimism than being down because of the Bosa injury. That's just me. Yes, Bosa going down does hurt. And I've seen a lot of people over the last couple of days be like, oh, we didn't hardly even notice that he was out. You're going to notice that Bosa's out. And by the way, the pressure rate dropped by about 60% the moment he left that game. So Bosa does make a major impact. Without him being there, it's going to impact this defense in a negative manner. It is. Robert Saleh is going to have to get crafty. Unfortunately, it's probably going to force him to blitz a lot more. It's going to leave those corners on an island. Renardo Green's been getting cooked a little bit. Some of these safeties, they're going to get tested, and it's going to be hard. But the offense is getting so much talent back, and I think that they're going to be able to put up some points. I just feel like the reason for optimism is there a lot more than the reason for pessimism when it comes to this Bosa injury, just because everybody else is coming back. So that's just me. I'm curious to see where your guys' thoughts are. Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? I know a lot of people think that I'm constantly just pessimistic about the 49ers. I'm not. I'm really not. Just listen to me a few times. I promise I say a lot of positive things. However, and especially in this case, I do think that there's reasons to be optimistic about the future of this team, especially and this year, the rest of this year. Now, of course, Trent Williams could go down, CMC could go down. Any of those things could happen. But as of now, that influx of talent coming back is so much, in my opinion, that it can make up for that Bosa loss and then some. It really can. So I think for me, I'm certainly more optimistic than I am pessimistic on this. But I do want to go back to a point in Dominic Pooney, and this was a player that really came on strong for the 49ers last year. Really, really strong. And then towards the tail end of the year, he certainly had a drop off. Again, I said that was because he hit the rookie wall. Young players, first year in, they're not used to playing that many snaps, that many games. It happens across the board for a lot of rookies. And I thought that it happened for Dominic Pooney. Then this season starts out. He has that knee injury. He's unable to finish training camp leading up to the season. He comes in week 1. It looked to me like he re-aggravated that injury. I don't know that that's the case. I do think he's probably playing a little bit injured, and I appreciate him for that. But at the same time, he's not playing good football right now. And so the question becomes is he truly injured? And if he is, we're going to give him all the slack in the world. But if he's not, and he's truly regressing, the future of this offensive line is certainly a little more bleak than what we thought. If Trent Williams retires and 4 out of those 5 guys are just not playing good football, you're kind of already locked into McKivitz. I guess at his price, maybe he could still be your swing tackle, if you get 2 good tackles. But we know the 49ers aren't revamping a whole offensive line in one offseason. But if Trent retires and Pooney's not good anymore, I don't know what the 49ers are going to do. Like that can be tough. So we have to hope that Dominic Pooney is not playing his best football because he's hurt. We also have got to look at a guy like Connor Colby, who's a rookie. I'm certainly not writing him off. He didn't play good. He was awful this last week. Simply awful. However, he's a rookie and he's a late round pick, and there's going to be development there. If they can get it right at those guards, if Connor Colby and Dominic Pooney can be guys, that helps the future of this line. McKivitz is serviceable enough. And then really you just got to look at replacing Trent Williams, and they've got to get another center. I'm sorry. Jake Brendel ends up on his butt every single game without fail. Yes, he made a Pro Bowl. It's the running joke. We know he's not a Pro Bowl caliber player. And Kyle Shanahan is so confusing because he always said that the center position is the heartbeat of his offense, yet he continues to roll out there with guys that are completely buns. Jake Brendel is not a good football player. He's just not. They've got to replace him as well. So the offensive line continues to be a talking point. But overall, like I said, I think there's more reason to be optimistic as this season goes along with the influx of talent that is coming back, including Malik Mustafa on defense. Yes, losing Bosa sucks. No, I don't think they should spend big to replace him. To me, the future of this team is way too important. Do not take away from those assets. But I think the 49ers are still a playoff team. I still think they're a 10-win team. I still think they're second place in this division. I still think they make the playoffs. And once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. You might be playing let's just throw it out there, a Bucs team potentially. You see all the injuries that they have. Right now, they're without their left tackle, their right tackle, their guard. They're without Evans and Godwin and McMillan. 3 of their top 4 wide receivers are out. Anything can happen. And they lost Cansey, who's a big time player on that defensive line. So they've got injuries of their own. Now, most of these guys are coming back, but the point is that you get to the playoffs and one of these teams is super banged up. Anything can happen. Maybe the 49ers are fully healthy outside of Bosa. That's a possibility. We have seen them do that. They did that just 2 short years ago when they made a Super Bowl run. Everybody was healthy by the time they made it to the playoffs. So that could happen again. And if these other teams are banged up, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Just get to the playoffs. I believe the 49ers are still good enough to do that. And we'll see how it goes. Here's the way this is going to work. I'm going to end this stream. It's going to redirect you. So don't leave the chat. It's going to redirect you to the NFC West Roundtable. Come check that out. Come support the 49ers. See me over there. We'll start in about 3 minutes. Much love. Peace. Oh, actually, hold on. Super chat. Corbin says, Jesse, that Niners defense, though, it'll be fine, brother. It'll be fine. I appreciate you. Much love.